Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there lived an old carpenter named Elias. He was known far and wide for his skill and dedication to his craft. His hands, though calloused and worn, could shape wood into works of art. But more than his talent, Elias was admired for his wisdom. He often said, "The effort you put into your life today shapes who you are in the future." The villagers respected him deeply, and many sought his advice on matters of life and work. One day, Elias called his young apprentice, Liam, into his workshop. Liam was a bright and eager boy, but he often rushed through his tasks, eager to see the finished product, rather than savoring the process. Elias had noticed this, and decided it was time to teach him an important lesson. "Liam," Elias said, his voice steady and kind, "I have a special task for you. I want you to build a house." Liam's eyes lit up. This was the moment he had been waiting for, a chance to prove himself. A house? For whom? Where will it be built? He asked excitedly. Elias smiled. "It will be a house for someone very important. I'll provide you with all the materials and tools you need. But remember, this house must be built with care. Every nail, every beam, every detail matters." Liam nodded eagerly, already imagining the grand structure he would create. He set to work immediately, sketching plans and gathering materials. But as the days passed, his initial enthusiasm began to wane. The work was harder than he had anticipated, and the process felt tedious. He found himself cutting corners, using cheaper materials where he thought no one would notice, and rushing through tasks to finish faster. "Why does it matter so much?" Liam muttered to himself one afternoon as he hastily hammered a nail into a crooked beam. "It's just a house. No one will see the flaws once it's done." Weeks later, Liam stood back to admire his finished work. The house looked decent from a distance, but up close, the imperfections were glaring. Uneven walls, poorly fitted windows, and a roof that sagged in the middle. Still, Liam felt a sense of pride. He had built a house after all. He went to Elias and announced, "The house is finished. I've done my best." Elias studied Liam for a moment, his expression unreadable. Then he said, "Good. Now there's something I must tell you. This house is not for someone else. It's for you." Liam's heart sank. "For me? But why?" Elias placed a hand on Liam's shoulder. "Because, my boy, the way you build a house is a reflection of how you build your life. Every choice you make, every effort you put in, shapes the life you will live. If you cut corners and rush through your work, you'll end up with a life that's unstable and full of regrets. But if you take your time, pour your heart into what you do, and build with care, you'll create a life that's strong, beautiful, and enduring." Liam stared at the house, his stomach churning with guilt and shame. He realized now that he had been building more than just a house. He had been building his future, and he had done a poor job of it. Elias, seeing the regret in Liam's eyes, said gently, "It's not too late to make things right. You can rebuild, but this time, do it with care." Determined to fix his mistakes, Liam set to work again. This time, he took his time. He carefully selected the best materials, measured twice before cutting, and ensured every nail was driven in straight. He worked late into the nights, his hands aching, but his heart full of purpose. Slowly but surely, the house began to transform. Months later, Liam stepped back to admire his work. The house was now a masterpiece, strong, sturdy, and beautiful. The walls were straight, the windows gleamed in the sunlight, and the roof stood firm against the wind. It was a home he could be proud of. Elias came to see the finished house and smiled. "Now this," he said, "is a house built with care. And just as you've rebuilt this house, you've also begun to rebuild your life. Remember, Liam, the effort you put into your life today shapes who you are in the future. Never forget that." Liam nodded, tears welling in his eyes. "I won't, Master Elias. Thank you for teaching me this lesson." As the years passed, Liam grew into a skilled and respected carpenter, known not only for his craftsmanship, but also for his wisdom. He often shared Elias's lesson with others, reminding them to build their lives with care. And whenever he looked at the house he had rebuilt, he was reminded of the importance of patience, dedication, and integrity. Morale of the story: the effort you put into your life today shapes who you are in the future. Just as a house built with care stands strong and beautiful, a life built with care becomes a foundation for happiness, success, and fulfillment. Take your time, make thoughtful choices, and always strive to do your best, because the life you're building is your own.